The Chiefs showed some serious grit last week with a divisional round victory over Jacksonville. And now with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, they'll take on a familiar foe in the Cincinnati Bengals for the AFC crown. Patrick Mahomes put together the definition of a gutsy performance last week, fighting through an ankle injury to lead the Chiefs to victory. In fact, despite some limitations, Mahomes completed 12 of 18 passes for 118 yards and a touchdown following the injury. His status will be something to watch all week long, but if we know one thing about Mahomes, he's going to give everything he has on Sunday. One guy he'll be relying on throughout Sunday's game will be tight end Travis Kelce, who hauled in 14 receptions for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. He now has 120 career catches in the playoffs, the second most for any player in NFL postseason history behind only Jerry Rice. Additionally, the duo of Mahomes and Kelce has connected for 12 total touchdowns during their playoff careers. That's tied with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice for the second most ever, and with 3 more, they'd tie Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski for the all-time record. Mahomes, Kelce, and the rest of the Chiefs' offense will look to move the ball on a Bengals defense that's been exceptional during Cincinnati's 10-game winning streak. In fact, Cincinnati, despite their high-powered offense, has scored more than 30 points just once in their last 8 games. It hasn't been necessary due to the play of their defense, which is allowing just 18.5 points per game during their 10-game winning streak. The Bengals defense deserves significant attention, especially after their dominant performance against the Bills last week. But get this, from week 9, when their winning streak began, through the end of the regular season, they ranked as the number 9 scoring defense in the NFL, holding the opposition to just 19.8 points per game. Who was right ahead of them at number 8 though? The Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs held opponents to just 19.7 points per game in that same span, and they were mostly terrific in last week's victory over Jacksonville. The Chiefs pressured Trevor Lawrence on 30% of his dropbacks last week, getting him for 2 sacks and 7 quarterback hits, and they'll need an even stronger performance against one of the league's best in Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Burrow is playing behind an injured offensive line right now, but he's managed to get around that by getting rid of the football quickly. His average time to throw this season was 2.49 seconds, the second fastest of any quarterback in the NFL, and he got rid of the ball even faster against Buffalo, averaging just 2.46 seconds. He doesn't provide the pass rush many chances to get home, but when he does, the Chiefs have to get to him. That's because Burrow has a number of weapons at his disposal in the passing game, notably wide receiver Jamar Chase. Chase has been targeted 20 times this postseason, the second most of any player, and his 4 catches that move the chains on 3rd down are the most of anybody in this year's playoffs. It's all to say that the Bengals offense is lethal when it's in rhythm. But if the Chiefs defense can work as a team, from the pass rush generating pressure to the back end covering Burrow's quick reads, they can slow these guys down. The first priority, however, has to be stopping the run. The Bengals dominated the Bills up front last week, plowing the way for a rushing attack that picked up 172 yards on the ground. The duo of Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine combined to average 5.1 yards per carry in that game. The Chiefs cannot let that happen. If they can hold the Bengals' running game in check, like the Ravens did just 2 weeks ago, it'll go a long way in stopping Cincinnati's offense. It all makes for a great game on Sunday as the Chiefs and Bengals clash yet again for the AFC title. This is the moment these guys have worked for all year long. And with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, it's undoubtedly going to be an electric day in Kansas City.